Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I am very aware that it's now 2026 and it's been a while since I posted. I think I looked it up and my last video was back in August. It's been an interesting few months. I'm not going to go through it in this video. I am doing a separate video that will tell you where I've been if you're interested. But we're all good. Just needed some time to chill, some time to just get all my ducks in a row, well, in a row as my ducks ever get. So now we're there. It did mean that I did have to stop the book blanket for a little while, so I'm a little bit behind on that, but I'm just going to take you on that journey this year, as well as with the scarf that I'm planning for this year, for 2026. So I thought I would bring you my first read of the year, and ironically my first read of the year was a 5-star. 5 stars. So I've had 2 5-star reviews already this year, so that's really exciting. So I read Quicksilver. So this has been on my reading list for a very long time. I'd wanted to read it, my friend had wanted me to read it. Ironically, I'd already pre-ordered Brimstone and I still hadn't read Quicksilver. So it was probably a really good thing that that was a 5-star review. I absolutely loved Quicksilver. I didn't want it to end. It carried... The writing style was very much... I put the book down just because I know that otherwise I would just be sitting here away from the book. The writing style I found kept going. It was quite smooth. You'll find with some of the other books I found that the writing style isn't quite as smooth. So Quicksilver has kind of set the tone for the year, which I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing yet, because it's very much, it was such a good read. I'm not sure how we're going to better it. So Quicksilver. So Cirrus gets saved by Kingfisher. We're just going to go for a really basic, because I don't like doing spoilers on my channel if I can help it, because I kind of want to encourage you to read the books that I love rather than me telling you exactly what happens in them all and then you have to think, oh, do I really want to read that? So Kingfisher saves Cirrus and takes her back to his land. So there is a library, which I quite like for the fact there's a library. Always love the fact there's a library in it, where she can learn. And Kingfisher can only stay in the area for 7 days while she learns. But alongside learning the background to the world that she's now living in, which is very much different from her own, she also needs to learn how to forge the Quicksilver. So the Quicksilver gives a special powers to those who need it. And at the moment, the area the new world that they're in is in war. So she then needs to try and learn how to use the Quicksilver in order to, I want to say save the world, but in order to give them what they need to be able to fight better. So she spends 10 minutes. So she spends the morning in the library, and she tends to spend the afternoons in the forge. I'm trying not to sneeze. Sorry about that. Housework was calling, so I've really sorted that out. So she spends the morning in the library and the afternoon in the forge. Only it comes to a point where Cirrus is not a particularly... She's quite outrageous, she's quite outgoing, she wants to do her own thing. And she also wants to find out more about Kingfisher, because he's very cagey about who he is and where he's come from. So she ends up going off on her own, and then that causes this great big hoo-ha which carries on throughout the rest of the book. At one point I think was quite interesting is that she wanted Kingfisher to go back. Part of the deal was she wanted Kingfisher to go back to her world and get her brother, because she wanted to make sure that he was still alive, because throughout the whole book it's like, nope, they're dead, to get them, dead. And he ends up bringing back one of her, not worst enemies, but the person she doesn't really want to see again. So that was quite interesting, I found, and quite funny. The fact that, you know, she's stuck in a world with all these people that she's only just met, and the only person she's got for company is the person that she really doesn't like the look of half the time. And he just reminds her of a bigger mistake in her life. But yeah, I won't go into the depths of what happens, because obviously I want you guys to read it for yourselves if you haven't already. But I did find that it read very well. It was definitely a 5-star, definitely a 5-star read for me, and I'm very glad that I finally read it. And I really can't wait for Brimstone. But I probably won't get to Brimstone now till February, which is a real shame. But part of me wants to split the books up a little bit, just purely because if Brimstone ends up being a 5-star, I don't want to find that I've started the year on so many 5 stars that, oh my god, the rest of the year's got to match it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with Quicksilver. That will be the first book that will go on my reading scarf, but there'll be a separate video, not talking about the review of the book, but the reading scarf and what this year's crafting plan's going to be. So just a quick one from me today, and so I'm going to love you and leave you there. Obviously there will be a Brimstone review once I get that far. I can honestly say though that I do love the fact, I'm glad that I got the one with the silver sprayed edges, because I do love beautiful books and have beautiful, so I'm glad that I managed to get this copy and that Brimstone matches it. So yeah, and then there's a third one coming out later in the year, so that's really exciting and I can't wait. If you like what you see, then please like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things, and I will look forward to seeing you in whatever I do next. Take care.